Pin bones are one-point bones that we can apply to vectors and images. With vectors, you get more control over your movements, and with images, you have some fun tools to play around with to distort your images in ways that were not possible in previous versions of Moho. To demonstrate this, we'll first show you a rig made up of vectors. We're now going to go through and add bones to this rig. Pin bones are one-point bones, so all you have to do with the Add Bone tool is come in and click. Once you click, a bone will be placed. You can go through and place the bones where you need them. You can use point binding, layer binding, and bone strengths to determine how these bones will work. But for right now, just place them in spots where you feel they'll be most appropriate. For our blob, we're going to use them to control the whole body and head. Once you have placed them, you can go back with your Transform Bones tool and just reposition your bones as you see fit. We'll be using bone strength to move the blob. First, we'll need to select all of our bones with Command A or Control A if you're on Windows. And you can set the bone strength numerically or by dragging. We'll just come up here and make sure the bone strength is set to 0.55. Hit Enter to make sure it has been applied to all bones. If you use the Transform Bones tool in advance on the timeline past frame 0, click and drag and you'll see you can alter your vector graphics simply by moving these points around. This gives you greater control over many aspects of the vector graphic. If you hold an Alt and click and drag, you can rotate the bone. And if you use Control or Command, if you're on Mac, click and drag, you can expand and decrease the size of the bone. Let's now add some animation using pin bones. We'll advance to frame 6 and freeze all frames with Command F or Control F if you're on Windows. Then we're going to advance to frame 12, and that's where the animation will officially start. Using the Transform Bones tool, we're just going to come in here, click and drag on these 3 right bones and bring them over more to the right. We're creating the illusion that he's going to reach forward so he can pull himself in to add more movement to the body. So just a little bit like this, bring that one over. We can also move the head bones. We'll use the Select Bones tool, lasso around just like this, come back with T to transform, and we can move the bones slightly like this. And we can even do some distortion, since he is a blob, to create a fluid-looking motion as he lunges forward. And remember, you can also rotate your bones if you see fit. So we could just come up here and do a slight rotation. And if we come back and play this out, you can see that it's looking pretty good. Let's advance now to frame 24. And we're just going to come over here with the Transform Bones tool and try to move these right bones back to a similar position where they were originally. Because we were creating the illusion he's pulling himself forward, we want those to go back to neutral. And by selecting the other bones with our Select Bone tool and the lasso mode, we can bring them forward to put him back to a neutral position, making it look like he has pulled himself forward. Just like that. We'll do one more set of keyframes just to show you a little bit more about how you can work with pin bones and vectors. On frame 18, I think we'll add a snap back effect for the head, just to add a little bit more to the animation. We'll select all those bones, and we're just going to move them back slightly, hit Enter to deselect, and then we'll just move these individually to create that snap back effect. Once again, since this is a blob, we can take liberties with just how these points look. We can even rotate to get the look that we are going for. So, once we go in here and make a few more adjustments, you can see how this looks, and it could probably be a little bit better, so we'll just come back here and move this even more, and just create this effect that we have a snap back occurring as he moves forward. Looking good, maybe just a little bit more. Getting close. That's looking pretty good. Come back here. There we go. That looks good. With the keyframes we've placed, you should get a pretty good idea of how pin bones can work. But let's advance forward to the end here. We've placed more keyframes down, and you can see this animation play out made entirely of pin bones. Pins can also be added to images. You can see I have a bone layer here with an image inside of it. All I'm going to do on that bone layer is come over here, click the Add Bone tool, and I'm going to go in and add some pin bones to the face. So I'll add a couple to the eyes, so just like that. We'll add one near the top of the head, as well as a couple on the sides of the head. Then we'll add one to the nose. We can do some for the cheeks. Add one for the mouth. We'll do some for the dimples. And we can add a chin bone as well. With images, you'll more than likely want to use bone strength. This will allow you to alter the image in a variety of ways. You can see our bone strings have been set, but you can adjust them any way you see fit. With our points now set, we can come in and make the adjustments that we want. So we can enlarge the eyes as one example. Just like that. We could come in here and maybe adjust the head as well. So we could enlarge the head on all sides, even bring the top of the head up a little bit and expand this out. Moving on, we could shrink the nose a little bit and maybe even bring it up just like that. And of course, we could work with the mouth, make that smaller, perhaps make the chin smaller, bring it up, as well as our dimples here, just bring those in and shrink them slightly. And of course, we have our cheekbones, which we can enlarge to polish off the effect. And as you can see, with just a few simple adjustments, we have now turned Kayla into an alien. And that, in a nutshell, is how you use pin bones. There are several uses for these, and I know we just scratched the surface in this video, but hopefully with these two examples, you can see the benefits of adding pin bones to vectors and images. If you'd like more information, tutorials, or to purchase Moho, visit moho.smithmicro.com.